The southeast region of Kazakhstan, formerly known as Semarechye in Russian or Zhetsisu in Kazakh, has a variety of different climates. For example, between Lake Balkhash and the Tanshan Mountains, there exists desert as well as high mountain range conditions. At the foot of the Zaalisky Alatau Mountains lies the city of Almaty, the largest administrative and cultural center in Kazakhstan. Almaty has a population of 1.5 million and is recognized as a center of sporting activity or tourism throughout Central Asia. It is from here that one can start many outdoor and sporting activities. The mountains called Tanshan consist of two parallel ranges, Zaalisky Alatau and Kungay Alatau. They stretch from east to west. Situated in the state of Almaty, Mount Talga is the highest peak with an elevation of almost 5,000 meters or over 16,000 feet above sea level. It can be seen from the city on a clear day. Mountain climbing and hiking are popular and available throughout the Talga Gorge. Trips can be arranged from the city to Komsomol, now called Nur Sultan, over 4,000 meters or 14,000 feet above sea level. This is the most popular peak for mountain climbers, having degrees of difficulty ranging from 2 to 4. There is no better place than Kazakhstan for mountain climbing training. Both experienced and inexperienced climbers can enjoy the mountains of northern Tanshan. Nestled between the ranges can be seen beautiful gorges and clean mountain rivers, waterfalls and lakes. For example, close to the city is Lake Grand Almaty that is surrounded by the Tanshan forest. It is 2,500 meters or over 8,000 feet above sea level. The lake is so clean that it reflects the mountain peaks, including that of Mount Soviets. At the entrance to the Grand Almaty Gorge, one can see the picturesque Ayu Sai waterfalls. As one goes further into the gorge, it eventually splits into Ozurnoye and Prohodnoye gorges. At the other end of the forest are many beautiful lakes from where starts the route to Lake Issyk. Only 50 kilometers or 31 miles from Almaty, one can find the Uzun Kargali waterfall in a rocky canyon that is filled with a fine mist of water. A series of lakes called Kulsai Lakes can be compared to a string of pearls in a green necklace of the Tanshan Mountains. These lakes, about 300 kilometers or 186 miles from the city, are found on the northern slopes of the Kungay Alatau. The latter hosts the most popular hiking routes to the shores of the Issyk. In the bordering gorge, there is Lake Kayendi. It is relatively young by historical standards. extraordinary, mysterious appearance is created by dry tree trunks rising from the turquoise depth of this lake. One can also see many strikingly beautiful landscapes in northern Tanshan. Every year, the number of tourists who come to visit this area increases. Available activities in these areas include jeep rides, horseback riding, mountain biking and hiking. Other activities such as paragliding and extreme skiing on the high slopes of the mountains are also available. In this regard, glaciation and year-round snow attract enthusiasts of the latter sport from all over the world. For the benefit of these skiers, there are specialized helicopters that are capable of transporting groups of 10 to 15 people to heights of up to 5 kilometers or 3.1 miles. There are many ski resorts in the surroundings of Almaty. The biggest one is called Chimbaluk. The Uchkunur Plateau rises over the submontane valley and is greater than 1 kilometer or 0.62 miles above the plain. Here the conditions for paragliding are ideal and where the annual paragliding championships of the CIS countries are held. The majestic panoramic view of the endless plain is visible from the heights of Zaya Liski Alatau. This is the region of steppes, deserts and semi-deserts that stretch for hundreds of kilometers to Lake Balhash. Anyone who visits the desert could never say that it is lifeless. With its many features and variations, many interesting findings can be made. Exotic landscapes never leave a traveler unimpressed with the sheer beauty of it all. The huge Sugatin steppe is crossed by the deep canyon of the river Sharin. Water and wind have created a unique museum of fantastic sculptures. most famous and visited place in Sharin is the Valley of Castles, but there are still many other interesting facets that can be found throughout the canyon, the total length of which is more than 100 kilometers or 62 miles. Many tourists like Bestamik Gorge and the Timarilik Canyon River, which is a tributary of the River Charin. The sense of time, space and reality are imperceptible when travelling in the labyrinths of Charin. It is necessary, however, to have some experience in hiking because of the lack of proper trails. However, paths travelled by wildlife can be used. The impetuous and capricious River Charin provides for extreme and exciting rafting. The whitewater rapids of the river have the highest degree of difficulty, and in the last few years commercial development of the river has been started. At the point where the canyon finishes, known as the Saratigai Tract, there is a unique object of nature. The grove containing the relic Sogdian ash tree. This tree has lived through the glacial age and is preserved in the same state as it was when primitive men dwelled on Earth. This massive area of 5,500 hectares is listed as one of UNESCO's outstanding natural monuments. There are many different water tours available in the lower parts of the River Charin and the River Ili. The latter is considered to have the most amount of water in the region. Both of these rivers provide opportunities for everyone to participate in water sports and are located in the Altin ML National Park. A walk in the desert habitat can be made to view Topla. This landscape reminds one of the African savanna. Also, a sand dune can be seen that acquired the nickname Singing Sand Dune because it utters a loud sound whenever the wind blows. The origin of this sand dune, for centuries located in the middle of a stony desert, is still an unknown mystery. Not far from the Singing Dune, the Kapchigai Dam forms a man-made lake with the same name. In summer, this lake is a favourite place for vacationers from Almaty. sandy beaches and warm clean waters provide for recreational activities such as sailing, wave runner rides and fishing. Beyond the dam, providing hydroelectric power to the area, the river continues through the deep rocky canyon. In the 16th century, the Tamgalitas tract led to a monastery for Buddhist monks where one can still see the images of Buddha carved in the rocks. The rocks on the bank of the River Ili are a favourite spot for rock climbers, and it is here that they organise an annual festival during the month of May. At the point where the River Ili meets Lake Balhash, there are cane groves that extend for hundreds of kilometres. The now extinct Turan tiger used to track wild boar through these groves. The last tiger was killed in 1939, but now other rare animals and plants are protected and preserved by the state. The delta of the River Ili currently is a popular place for ardent fishermen and tourists. Between the Zungar Alatau Mountains and Lake Balhash, there is a desert that stretches for 300 kilometers or 186 miles. The pearl of this land is the river Koksu, that in Kazakh means blue water. This desolate gorge is inhabited by bears, morels, snow leopards, bobcats and wolves. Water sport enthusiasts enjoy the challenge of rafting along quite difficult stretches of white water. So within a short distance of Almaty can be found endless steppes, deep canyons, raving rivers and blue lakes. The magnificent mountains of central Tanshan with the marble peak of Han Tengri attract mountain climbers from all over the world who relish the challenge of an ascent. Central Tanshan is a pilgrimage for many climbers of Central Asia and Kazakhstan. In the last few years, it has also become very popular among those from abroad. Ham Tengri means the sovereign of spirits, and it is 7,000 meters or almost 23,000 feet above sea level. It is the highest point in the Republic of Kazakhstan and is the most northerly mountain of this height on the planet. Each year, hundreds of climbers gather under the slopes of this marble pyramid, hoping to conquer its beautiful peak. However, it is extremely difficult to find an easy route to the top. For a successful ascent, a climber requires a lot of experience and needs to be acclimatized thoroughly to the conditions on the mountain. Recently, mountaineering camps were built at the foothills of the Ham Tengri, and it is important to note that they comply with international regulations and standards. It only takes half an hour by helicopter to go from the green meadows of the Alpine zone to the base camps on the southern and northern Almaty glaciers. From the glacier of southern Almaty, there is a breathtaking view to the highest peak of Tanshan, called Pobeda, meaning victory, which is over 7,000 meters or 24,000 feet above sea level. Climbing to the top of this peak is just as hard as climbing the most difficult Himalayan mountains. For example, this peak is almost as dangerous to climb as Nanga Parbat in Tibet. Apart from this and Ham Tengri, there are still many other mountains with heights of more than 6,000 meters or close to 20,000 feet that are challenging to climbers. In summary, interesting mounting routes have been walked through, an obstinate river subjugated, the paraglider has been carefully packed and stored. Once again we are back to Almaty, our home, our workplace, our safe haven to carry on our lives routine. Soon all we have left are the memories that somewhere to our south, the mountains of the Zayaliski Alatau are beckoning to us while they reach for the sky. Almaty and its surrounding area is unique in that it combines a variety of different climatic zones and as such possess great tourist potential. In fact, each new year brings new tourists to our city. They will always be made welcome.